Hello everyone, I'm back with another Reddit Addicts episode. If you find my videos entertaining, please kindly subscribe and like them. Thanks to everyone for your suggestions and kind notes. Now, let's get started with today's exciting stories.
My wife cheated, and I might like it. Some disclaimers. 1. I'm new to Reddit. This is a throwaway account, but my main account doesn't have much. I say that BC I don't want to offend anyone if I don't write the correct way or say something that comes off as offensive. 2. There is some adult content here. 3. This is going to be long. So, this is an update from a previous post, which is in my profile. Short of it is my 40M wife, 37F, went to a work function, she came back and we had a wild adult night. Over the next 4 weeks she seemed down and distant. We've been together for 12 years with a kid. Everyone told me to talk to my wife, which I knew I had to do. I waited till last Friday BC my son was going to be with his grandparents for the weekend. So Friday night I sit my wife down and tell her I've noticed she seems different and I want to have a serious talk, to make sure everything is okay between us. She looks at me and starts crying. For those of you who read my original post and said she cheated, I guess you win the prize BC. That's what happened. Apparently there is a guy at her work who she referred to as a work flirt. Let's call him Adam. Well, at the happy hour they got a little drunk and a little too flirty. The event was at a hotel bar and they ended up getting a room. I just sat there in stunned silence. I told her I needed some time and I slept in the guest room. Well, I didn't do much sleeping, just a lot of thinking. My wife respected my space and didn't try and force a conversation. So Saturday afternoon, I got out the tequila and started drinking. My wife saw me and sat down next to me. We didn't talk, but we were both drinking and we were both getting tipsy. I broke the silence and told her I had some questions and I need honest answers to all of them. She said she would, but she was afraid some of the answers might hurt me. I honestly laughed for a good minute when she said that. As a disclaimer, based on how she answered, her body language and the genuine feeling that she doesn't want to lose me, I believe that every answer she gave me was the truth. You can believe her answers or not. I asked if she wanted to leave me. She held my hand, started crying and said absolutely not. I asked if this has ever happened before and she said no. Not just with this guy, but ever. I asked why she did it. That's when she froze for a second, but I told her it was important for me to know. I think the alcohol gave me the courage to ask her my questions and gave her the courage to answer. She told me that the alcohol was a big factor, but she also felt something missing sexually between us. Full disclosure, I'm not the best in the bedroom. 2 big issues are I'm not big and I finish very quickly. Obviously, I can't fix the first issue, and I've tried to fix the second with numbing cream, help videos, etc. They haven't been too helpful. After 2 years together I knew our bedroom time was a problem and we fixed it with toys. You can use your imagination, but it works extremely well. We both finished every adult time happy and for the last 10 years I thought we were happy and healthy in that area. She told me she loves our time together, but she still misses what she had in previous relationships when toys weren't needed. So back to Adam. She said while they were drinking and talking flirting he kissed her. She said she felt something electric, and the next thing she knew they got a room. I don't know why, but I asked if she enjoyed it. She said yes. I think we were both taken back with how quickly she answered that question. I then asked her about when she came home and we had the craziest night we've had in a while. She told me she was feeling so wild after what happened that when she saw me she just wanted to be with me too. I asked her if it was better than what we do. She seemed to get uncomfortable and there was a pause that felt like it lasted forever, but she said yes. I asked her if anyone else knows and she said no. No one from work saw them go upstairs and she and Adam haven't talked about it since. No one has brought it up or have been gossiping about it either. She said that when she really thought about the night and what happened, she felt horrible for letting me down and cheating. That's why she's been depressed and she's been trying to find a way to tell me. She said she would do anything to keep us together. I told her I needed some time and I went back to the guest room. I kept thinking about her and another man and two things happened. I was very hurt and upset and really turned on. What in the hell? I have no idea why, but the thought of her with someone else was really working me up. I looked it up online and I guess cheating fantasies are more common than I knew. So my long story comes down to this question. WTF do I do? My wife cheated. Full stop. We have never even casually talked about a cheating fetish or fantasy. She did what she did for a selfish reason. If she had brought it up to me before, would I have considered it? IDK. Based on how it makes me feel now, probably. We'll never know though. The betrayal I feel is real, but I can't get over the fact that the thought of her with other men appeals to me. It's been a few days since we talked and she is trying really hard to make this right. She is looking for a new job to be NC with Adam. She gave me passwords to all her accounts. She has found a couples therapist she wants us to see. If we end up not working out, it will not be BC. She wasn't trying. Do I talk to her about my desires? There is no way I can tell a therapist that I want my wife to sleep with other people. I will be way too embarrassed. Is therapy even worth it if I won't bring this issue up? What is my wife going to think if I tell her? I feel I have three real options. 1. I tell my wife how I feel. 2. I forgive her, bury the fantasy away, and we work on getting back to where we were. 3. End it. TLDR, my wife cheated with a coworker. Turns out I have a cheating fetish she doesn't know about. What do I do? Now for the next story. My wife cheated and I want to get over it, but I can't. What have you tried, Reddit? Well, first a little background. My wife and I have been married for about 1.5 years, but have been together 6 years in total, living together for most of it. We started dating when we were young, 17 and 20. Before this we had known each other for years, even kinda briefly dated before. We were always great friends, and everyone thought we would be a perfect match. We have the same sense of humor and see the world in very similar ways. We eventually went away to college together and had a good time for a while. Eventually, we started fighting over stuff. Slowly at first, but it grew. It was never too bad, just little things. We just figured it was stress, and it probably was. By the time we were engaged, we were doing all right, but by the wedding we're fighting every week or so, but it always ended quickly. After the wedding we were doing well, but I began having problems with depression and such and withdrew from school to work full-time on IT. I ended up having to move away for her last semester of school to work. She had a guy friend of ours, who used to come over and hang out with us. She began hanging out with him, as he moved right down the street. Slowly she started talking to me about him over the phone more and more. This made me very angry over time and mixed with earlier problems, caused us to grow apart. I was always angry when we talked due to this and her ignoring my distress about them hanging out. She promised me I had nothing to worry about and I was still bothered. A few weeks later I came to visit for her birthday. I was tired from the drive and she insisted we hang out with this guy when I suggested staying in. We fought about it, a rather large fight. She eventually left and went over there for a few minutes before they both came back to our apartment to chill for the night. She refused to have any option without hanging out with him, which threw up a major red flag to me. We eventually seemed to get better and left. She came down to visit the next weekend, and upon her saying something about him, we fought about it again. She left me angry, and went home that Sunday. I couldn't get in touch with her that night, but she called me the next day. We had a rough week talking, and she came down to see me that weekend. We had another fight, almost to the point of breaking up. We talked it out and she left. After this fight, I was not angry with her anymore. I had come to terms with her having a guy friend and was fine with it. We had several good weeks and I came to visit her. During this time, she went out to a bar with that guy to see a band. She called me up complaining about him and how he wasn't as fun and I would be more fun. I talked to her for a while, but got upset after a while about how much she talked about this guy. I went up there that Friday to see her. We had an odd night that Friday, not really arguing, but there was tension. The next morning we woke up and she mentioned something about the guy that made me ask her if she had cheated on me or something. She couldn't look at me, but eventually told me she had cheated on me that night. She left me angry. She said she wanted to that it wasn't about me, it was just easy. My first reaction was anger and hurt I've never experienced. I freaked out and yelled for a bit, then calmed down and fucked her. I don't know why that was my first reaction, but it was. I feel terrible that it was, but I had already slept with her since she cheated, so why not? The rest of the weekend was highs and lows of it feeling like the old days and me being upset. I tried to contact the guy, with much anger. I didn't cuss him out, but I came close. I didn't threaten to kill him or anything, but I wish I had. She told me she still has feelings for the guy and wants to continue hanging out. I told her I couldn't trust her with him anymore, and she basically blew it off nicely and said she wouldn't hang out with him this week. She still talks to me about him and it hurts so much. He wouldn't even answer her calls, so she went to see him last night. He was there and she was over there for an hour. She wouldn't tell me what they talked about, but told me to not try to contact him anymore. She also apologized to him for the whole situation, to add insult to injury. I'm still bothered by this and that she won't stop seeing him. Now I'm sad all the time, suicidally depressed, and nothing makes me happy. Food doesn't taste right, I'm basically in a full-scale depression. I wish I wasn't still in love with her and attracted to her, or leaving would be easy. I've tried to make a life with her and have supported her through thick and thin for years. I want to be able to forget about this and move past it, but I don't know how. I know I made mistakes, but I don't feel as though they justified what she did. I don't want to vilify her, as there were mistakes made by all parties. I just want to forget and keep moving on like we were. It just seems so hard now. I can really tell how much she doesn't care about certain things, and it hurts me more than anything else ever has. I have never felt the need to call out to the hive, but I could really use some good advice and some good stories to take my mind off it. I've never felt so low in my life and I'm too embarrassed to talk to any of my friends about it. I really hope that this helps me get over it in some way. TLDR, my wife cheated on me, won't stop seeing the guy as a friend, still wants to work it out, and now that I know what she did I'm extremely clinically depressed. I'd like to forget it all and move on with our relationship. Help me Reddit, you're my only hope. Edit, and this all happened right before my birthday. Edit 2, to be fair, she never made me think that she would do this in the previous 6 years. Never even made me suspect it. I couldn't believe it when she did it. I don't think she is a whore, and while I expected those responses to some degree, I know true whores and she is not one. Edit 3, in some ways she has been trying to help me, basically by trying to check in on me, talk about other things to distract me, telling me to go out and have fun with my friends, and she is the one who keeps telling me she wants to make it work too. I want to make it work too, but I just don't know how to get over it or if I even should try to. Edit 4, Well, thanks for all the helpful comments. I feel a ton better today and am out of the deep depression I was in. And for all of those people who shit on a guy in the middle of a deep depression looking for a way out of it, what girl made you so bitter?
We hope you enjoyed this story. Thanks for watching and hope to see you in the next video. And before you go, please be sure to subscribe for more.